Hey, welcome to Dave's Saturday Podcast on Monday, July 5th, the day after July 4th. Why did I not record on Saturday? I'll get to that. Why did I not record yesterday? I will get to that. But I have good reasons, so shut up. Okay. As you can see, I am in Texas now. You can tell because my audio quality is good again because I have my microphone. I would add in an applause thing, but I'm still exhausted from this week, so there's no applause editing thing. Also, I'm not 100% sure how to do that, but mostly I'm tired. I could figure it out. How did this week go? This week was horrible. A lot of driving, a lot of stress. So I left Sunday morning. Sunday was the best day this week. Sunday morning I leave. I make a simple, easy drive across the country from Washington to Salt Lake City. 14 and a half hours of driving, no issues whatsoever. I had a great day. I listened to a lot of music. I listened to a lot of podcasts. Monday, I wake up. Everything changes. I should tell you that the place I slept at that night was very, very nice. The guy was very polite. My car was parked properly. Everything was fine. There were no issues at all at this place. This was the best Airbnb I've ever stayed at, even though there were people living in the same house. Usually there's like a little room or something, or like an off building that the Airbnbs are in, but this one was just in the house. So I wake up, they say goodbye to this guy. He was up pretty early. I was up pretty early. I drive for 5 minutes. The car starts shaking. I'm thinking, man, there must be something wrong. But I kept driving anyway. And I pull over after a few miles after it starts to get really bad. I pull off the hubcap after looking around my car for a while to see if there's anything. And 3 screws are coming loose on the wheel. So I have to go all the way back, go to Napa Auto Parts, get some auto parts to fix the car. I tighten on that wheel. Actually, what I did is I jacked up the car, took the wheel completely off, and then put it back on. Because you're supposed to do the thing where you tighten in a star pattern. So that's what I did. And then once that was done, I went and tightened the other wheels. All of them needed tightening. And then I dropped the car and I tightened the wheels again because that was the step I missed when I changed my brakes. So I drive and my car just is shaky anyway. So the whole rest of the day, the car is shaking like nobody's business. You know, it's like it's in a porta potty and there's a 5-year-old shaking it outside and I keep yelling, stop it. But there was no 5-year-old outside the porta potty. It was just the force of my bowels releasing that was shaking the porta potty. So I keep going. That was that was something. Sorry. Sometimes I laugh at my own humor. I now have to get back on track on the story. All I can think about is me sitting in a porta potty with horrible bowel issues. Oh, yeah, so I'm concerned all day. There was nothing wrong after that. I was just really, really nervous. So I kept driving the rest of that day, and I kept stopping on the side of the road to check stuff, that didn't even need to be checked. I was just a nervous Nelly. I get to my second destination, which was my grandmother's house in Albuquerque. And Albuquerqueans, nobody listens to this. So if you're from Albuquerque, and it is the future when people are listening to this, if they are, Albuquerque is really nice. If I was insane enough to want to live in the middle of the desert and also be around a ton of people, I would probably move to Albuquerque. But I don't like being in the desert because I didn't grow up in the desert. The thing against the desert, I think roadrunners are really cool. I made friends with one. It looked at me and I looked at it, and that's the extent of the friendship. So, kept going. Well, I wouldn't keep going. I kept going, I mean my life continued on. So I got to my grandmother, she welcomed me in. I think we got something to eat, and then I went straight to bed. I was very, very tired. I woke up, and my grandma had to take her cat to get a trim, and her cat's fur was really matted, so the cat's fur ended up being mostly shaved off. And I thought that the cat looked funny after that, and the cat was in a bad mood the rest of the time I was there. I wasn't too happy with that. But that's okay. Nothing ends up perfect anyway. The cat's name was... Oh no, I can't remember my grandma's cat's name. Oh well, I knew it for the time that I needed to know it. Maybe it was Pebbles. It wasn't Pebbles. It was something weird. After this, we watched TV all day. I mean, she's old. She just watches TV and that's it. She watches a lot of the news, so that tested my patience. And she also watches a lot of movies, and that did not, because the movies were really good. A lot of Alfred Hitchcock movies. I really like Alfred Hitchcock movies. Alfred Hitchcock movies are pretty good. We watched one Alfred Hitchcock movie, and it was about this guy who was killed. And then the movie's just about that. And if I tell you more, I'll spoil some of it, but it was really, really good. You know what? This movie's like 1 billion years old. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen the movie The Trouble with Harry, then you're going to want to skip a ways ahead, because I'm going to tell you guys the whole plot of this movie that I thought was really, really good. And it's also an old movie, so it was good, but it was also ultra boring because it's older than 1995, and that's how my young brain works. So basically, there's this guy, and this guy is like dead in the forest. It's just a dead body. So it opens on this kid finding a dead body, and it was pretty crazy. Then this guy is he's hunting or something, and for whatever reason, he would just shoot and keep going. And he was looking for his rabbit that he thought he had killed, but it kind of portrayed it like he sucked at shooting animals, so he didn't really shoot any animals. So he goes and he sees, I accidentally shot this tree, and I accidentally shot this piece of plate or something that was in the middle of the woods for no reason. And then he stumbles upon that same dead body the child had found, and he said, oh no, my horrible aim has murdered someone. And there's kind of like blood on the guy's head, but he can't really tell what happened. And so he's like, okay, I need to hide this body. But then these people come up on the trail, and they're like, whoa, it's a dead body. And I can't remember what the exact plot points there were, but it was somewhat relevant. Then there was this homeless guy that stole the dead guy's shoes, and then there was the child came back with his mother, but his mother was totally chill about it. She was like, oh, it's okay, people die in the woods sometimes. It was weird. Then they introduce another character, and he's an artist, and he somehow finds the dead body, and his reaction is, I'm going to paint this, my man. So he squats down and he paints this picture of a dead guy. Wow, that is the very accurate representation of what I think an artist is. Art, everything is art, including the dead. Which is true. I think artwork of dead bodies would be interesting, but not in the grotesque sense in which I should have just stopped it. And I've dug myself a pit. I would like to state that I am not attracted to dead bodies. I'm just saying I think that the artwork that could be drawn from a facial expression of a dead body is okay. You get the point. Okay, let's just move on. Then the old guy figures out that the guy with the gun figures out that he didn't shoot him because he found a rabbit that he did shoot, but he only shot 3 bullets. So the movie continues, and they find out that woman who was just like, there's dead bodies in the woods, she had found the guy, she used to be married to the guy, and she hit him over the head with something, and then he went out into the woods. And so at that point in the movie, you're assuming that she killed him. And then this guy he had thought he shot the body. Earlier in the movie, he had gotten a date with some woman. That was the first person that found the body, was this woman. And she just didn't really care about the body either. And the guy was trying to explain himself that he accidentally shot him or something. She was totally chill about it. Sorry, that was a pretty big plot point I should have mentioned. Okay, well, I'm not very good at telling stories like this. Well, okay, let's get back to the main points. So what actually happened is that woman had killed the guy because that guy had wandered into the woods after being hit in the head by his ex-wife. I'm assuming they're ex-wives after you beat him in the head. But I think they were still married for something weird. I don't know. And he had attacked some other woman in the woods because he was so out of it that he didn't know that it wasn't his wife. And so she killed him because, I don't remember how she killed him, but she did. I think she just stabbed him or something. And so then they're all like, okay, well, there's just this dead body. That is what it is. And that's basically how the movie ends. Oh, they get married. It's like a happy ending. I don't know. Well, maybe you guys should watch the movie because I didn't actually explain that movie very well at all. But it did waste like 4 minutes of precious podcast time. 4 minutes of podcast time. So there's that. What else? There were a few other... The Wrong Man, that was another Alfred Hitchcock movie we watched. That one's about a guy who they think that he's a criminal, but he's not. He just looks like a criminal. And then another one where it's like this woman who is psychic, but she's not really psychic. Something like that. And they're looking for some woman's brother. I don't remember the name of that one, but that one was okay. Okay. Moving on. So I leave my grandmother's house on that Friday. I don't remember. No, on that Thursday. Thursday, I leave her house, and because I was going to stay till Friday, but I couldn't because I had an interview that Friday with a company that I wanted to work for, but now I'm not so sure because, the interview went well, but I got an offer from a different company that just seems incredible, and I have to call them on Tuesday to make sure they're not rescinding their offer for employment. So it's been a long week, guys. It's been very stressful because I should have just accepted that one right away because I didn't realize how great their benefits were, and they have profit sharing, which would make their pay equal or greater to the place that I want to work right off the bat. But that doesn't really matter. You guys don't need to make that decision for me. But I'm taking the other one because I want to work in a big building downtown, and that sounds really cool to me. So I'm going to work in a big building downtown. Yeah. Well, anyway, I get to Texas. I get to Texas, and my car breaks down right after. Well, I pulled in to my place I was sleeping, brought in my bags, and I turned on the car so I could go drive and get gas. I thought there was like a little extra shaking. I thought that the car was just like, give me gas, but it wasn't. So I take the car and I go to get gas, and the check engine light comes on, and there's a misfire on the 8th piston, and I just don't want to deal with this car anymore. I paid $1,500 for it, and I put probably $2,000 in it. That's $3,500. I'd rather just pay double for a new vehicle. So that's what I did. The next day I got a new car. It was a Honda Fit. I now drive a Honda Fit, and it doesn't have cruise control, and I do not care because that car was cheap-ish for what it was. It only had like 110,000 miles on it. It was a really nice car, very well taken care of on the internal side. I don't think it's ever been washed because there was like paint peeling off from dirt, but I don't mind that at all. If I really want to get it repainted, I won't because I don't care. So gotta have that car for at least 3 years. That's the length of my loan. My loan is pretty small. I'm not really concerned. I could have bought the car straight up if I really wanted, but I really didn't want to. It was like $1,000 you gotta pay for. I'm buying a car and now I have to pay taxes kind of deal. So the bacon's the title. Yada yada yada. You guys get the point. Okay. Now no questions have been asked on the email this week, so I'm gonna do that thing where I go to like this random question generator and answer those questions. Give me a second to get there. Okay. I don't ever remember these questions, so if I end up answering questions again, oh well. I'll probably answer them differently every time. First question is, let me click. What do you think about when you hear the word classy? I think about a black and white movie where a guy's wearing a suit and he's smoking a tobacco pipe. That's classy. It's a classy way to get lung cancer, I think. I don't actually know how smoking a pipe works. Maybe it'll give you lung cancer, maybe not. Okay, next question. What word do you always misspell? There's probably some, but I spell most words correctly. Well, I used to spell color the British way because I read a British book that said color and it had it spelled the British way, so it spelled colour. But I did that. So I did that when I was a kid. I most of my spelling I just pick up. I don't know. If there's something like the word conversation, I don't always get all of those vowels right because there's like 4 different vowels and I don't know which ones. This isn't. I wouldn't do it with conversation because that one's pretty straightforward. But it'd be like if I read it as conver, but the ver I thought was vir. It's stuff like that. That's what I tend to misspell. Oh boy, would you like to be famous? Hold on. I have to read the whole question. Would you like to be famous? If yes, what would you want to be famous for? If no, why not? So yes, for entertainment. And I think that if this episode ever gets listened to after, if I end up doing really well with comedy and what I want to be doing, if this people start listening back, this will be a moment in time. So I have to say something really spectacular here. Like, I don't know. I'm going to predict my fame. Guys, I have this thought coming in from space. I'm going to be famous for something. Wow. And now you're listening to this, and if I actually did, you think I'm like a freaking psychic or something. Man, I'm a genius. And if I didn't explain all that and just went straight into it, you might actually believe me. It's crazy. All right, next question. Does income inequality need to be fixed? If not, why? If so, what effective and practical methods can be used to fix the income gap? Man, random question generator coming in with the real questions. Yeah, it needs to be fixed, man. If I wasn't trying to be a comedian, I might care about this a little more because I don't make very much. But I'm expecting not to make very much because that's kind of part of what I want to do. So I kind of have to just deal with it until I give up or make something happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what's up. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any actual practical. I'm not a politician, all right? What's the best thing about traveling? How about the worst thing? Well, this one's pretty relevant. The worst thing about traveling is when your wheel almost falls off, and the best thing about traveling is when you stay at your grandma's for a few days. I think. I don't know, but I don't travel enough. When I travel on an airplane, I like sitting in the window seat and staring out of it. But if I stare too long, my neck starts to hurt, and then it ends up going from a very pleasurable experience to a very painful one. And then if I get set next to someone that I don't really want to be sitting next to, that's also very irritating because I don't want to talk to them. Oh, there was one time I was on a plane, and there was this girl from New Zealand. She said, "Hey, I'm from New Zealand," all that. She had the thickest accent, and she had kind of one of those voices that just is like, ugh. And I talked to her for like 10 minutes, and then I had enough. But she was a talker, so I had to figure out how to get out of the conversation. I was kind of tired because I had a flight before that one. So I straight up said, I have to watch my movie now so that it'll be done before the plane lands. And I put in headphones, and I watched the movie, and I don't remember what her reaction was. I think she just started talking to the person on the other side of her. She was kind of cute, though. But she lived in Ohio, so disgusting. But she was also from New Zealand, or New Zealand, so that would have been kind of cool. But I'd rather marry someone from, like, Mexico or Brazil or something. Or a South American country, because they've got pizzazz. I could go for a woman with pizzazz, but not like, oh, I'm from New Zealand. Because that's all I know about New Zealand people is they say New Zealand, so. Okay, well, that might have been insensitive. One more question. Did I say one more question? It doesn't matter. This is the last question for real, if I said it wasn't before. Would you rather spend the day in an art, history, or science museum? Well, why not all three? Of all of those, I think I'd prefer the science museum. The reason I would prefer the science museum is because I like reading about things like science, and I don't necessarily like reading about history or art as much. But a history museum would be my second choice. I think history is pretty cool, and art. Now, specifically within the science realm, I think a history of physics museum would be really cool to me. I think if I wasn't trying to be a comedian, I would probably be trying to be a theoretical physicist. Why did I say that? That makes me sound like a moron. But I think I could do theoretical physics if I went back in time about 20 years and removed all of my social skills. Okay. Well, honestly, when I was really little, I had no social skills at all. That's why my parents sent me to public school specifically because I was too smart to have social skills. You can ask them. They'll tell you this. I learned how to read when I was 3. I didn't really learn anything about math or anything, so maybe I wouldn't have been a theoretical physicist. But I was pretty good at math in those early years. I just didn't care because they kept trying to put me in the gifted programs. I'm like, what? I don't have no gifts for you. That wasn't what I said. I said I don't want to do extra work in school, and my parents said that's a good point. So they kind of loosened up what I had to do for this stuff. It was really irritating. When I was in first grade, they tried to make me write a paper on Thomas Jefferson. What kind of first grader wants to write a paper on Thomas Jefferson? Make me read about fucking beach balls or something. I said a swear word, so suck it up. I'm a tough guy now. Now that I moved to Texas, yeehaw, I'm allowed to say the swear words. All right. Well, that's all the questions. Now I'm going to do a thing where I point at the USA and read. It hasn't been great the past 2 weeks, I'll be honest. So I'm going to start doing, instead of a really, really tiny town, I'm going to start pointing to an area and looking for a slightly larger area, because it's been lately, I point to a town and then there's no news, so I try and find a town that's close by anyway. So I'll just skip right to finding a closer town. Okay, close my eyes. Okay, this is Florida. This will be interesting. I don't know how I clicked on Florida. Okay, it's Central Florida. It is Sebring, Florida is the place. Sebring, Florida news. Oh, there's the newspaper. Okay, this is much better. Oh. Okay, I don't want to read that one. That one's a little too close to home. Okay, this one I'll read. Sebring, Florida man in custody after allegedly shooting and killing Bradenton man in Lake Wales on Father's Day. Man, that sucks. Okay, this guy's 40 years old. Oh, maybe I shouldn't read about this one. Alright, that's a little too real. There was one that was even worse, though. I'm not going to read it. There's an obituary for a woman named Sarah. She passed away naturally, so it wasn't bad. Oh my gosh. That one is... Okay. This place is horrible. Okay. Something that's... Oh, I don't even think it's related to Sebring. Sebring National Raceway. International Raceway. Is that in Sebring, Florida? I don't care. I'm going to read it anyway. Or some of it. SRO America announced today that it will race at Sebring International Raceway. I don't know what SRO America is. On October 1st through 3rd, in a 3-year commitment. Oh, it is. It is in Sebring. So Sebring Raceway is in Sebring, Florida. That makes so much sense to me. That town is very not nice other than their racetrack, I can tell you that. Ticket prices. Well, I skipped most of the article. Now it's talking about ticket prices. Ticket prices will be announced soon. The track is 3.74 miles long. Let me look at more about the Sebring Raceway, because I'm terrified to read anything else from this godforsaken town. Sebring Raceway is it's a NASCAR thing. You know, I had an Uber this week. I don't take Ubers very much, but I had to take an Uber to get my car, and there's a racetrack in Austin. And this guy was obsessed with racing because he wasn't from America, the USA. And he was telling me all these things. He overloaded my brain. So now I have to go see a racing thing because some guy named Hamilton, maybe, I can't remember his name, is a big racer. Sebring International Raceway is an auto racing facility in the southeastern United States near Sebring, Florida. Okay. Occupies the site of Hendricks Army Airfield. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I think they use the track as a runway. It is not just a NASCAR loop. It is actually pretty interesting. The most recent driver to win... Oh, sorry, these are lap records. The lap record right now is 1 minute and 41 seconds in a Toyota TS050 hybrid. If you're a car person, you know what that means. I don't. Oh gosh, I don't know how to read his name. The driver was Kamui Kobayashi. I hope I didn't butcher that. Okay, well now you know about the Sebring Raceway a little bit. I didn't give you too much information there, but hopefully that was good enough. Everything in this area is just horrible. A man struck on the highway. Someone shot. 2 people killed. Oh my gosh. Okay. 11 fantastic things to do in beautiful Sebring, Florida. Thank goodness. Someone that isn't killed. That's not even... Number 1, get killed. That's funny to me. Okay, sorry. That's tasteless. It was funny to me though. It is known best for its world-class racing, freshwater lakes, and a dose of old Florida. Yeah, there's a dose of Florida there, all right. In the form of lead. Okay. If you visit Tampa, Orlando, Fort Myers, or Fort Pierce, Sebring is less than 100 miles away. Okay. From the yummy, affordable food, I wonder why the food's affordable. Probably because it will kill you. The food pulls out a Glock and shoots you. That's why the food is so cheap. They have upscale lodging, though, on the lakes. Yeah, okay, there's a lake there, I guess. Okay. Better watch out for the lake. The sharks might be, sharks in the lake. The gators might be packing in Sebring, Florida. Man. Okay, I guess I'm making jokes like that about how horrible Sebring is and the risk of loss of life there. International racing is number 1. Freshwater lakes is number 2. Okay, there are many choices to get on or in the water in and around Sebring in the freshwater lakes. Okay, there's nice lakes. Somehow they have to come up with 9 more things, but I've only seen the racing in the lakes. Try unique dishes. Okay. I'm looking at a picture here. It looks like peas and bananas. That is unique, all right. I don't think it's actually peas and bananas, but it looks like peas and bananas. I don't know what else. Maybe it's peas and tofu? No, but it looks too much like bananas. Let me see if it captioned it. Nope, but Melody Pittman took the picture. All right, Melody Pittman, we all know that you like peas and bananas. Maybe it's okra? Okra and bananas? No, that sounds worse. Peas and bananas. Oh, an English pea salad. It's from England. That makes sense. They would eat peas and bananas. They eat all kinds of stuff there. They eat beans on toast, peas and bananas. Okay. You taste the hooky melt. What? The hooky melt is a signature dish in a restaurant called Jackson's. It has a fajita skillet with grilled or fried blackened chicken, and then topped with fistfuls of cheese, buffalo sauce, onions, and sour cream. That sounds so Florida to me. Okay, Experience Spirits, the alcoholic beverage. Okay, go. They have bars there. Wow, shocker. So no, number 1 through 4, they were like trying to be creative, and number 5, they were like, no, there's some alcohol. Great job. Florida's first state park. Okay, they should have put that at number 5, but they didn't. There's a Highlands Hammock State Park, the oldest and first state park. Wow. Okay, it was the first one. So maybe if it wasn't the first one, it wouldn't be a state park anymore, because it doesn't look that great. It looks like a boardwalk through a swamp. Well, I guess it counts as a state park. I shouldn't criticize that one. I'd like to rescind any criticism that was implied for the Florida's first state park. Outdoor dining bliss. That way the bullets can't ricochet. Genius. No, but they've already gone over dining, and now they're just going back to it. There must be not much to do in Sebring other than get killed. I'm not going to stop making that joke anymore because I think it's hilarious. A second to none inn. Okay. 155 room inn on beautiful Lake Jackson. A hotel. That's what I read from that. There's a hotel. Everywhere has a hotel. A golf gem. Okay, now this makes sense because everybody knows that Florida has 1 billion golf courses. Okay, this one's fine. But because Florida has so many golf courses, I don't know if this one is the best in the state. But it's something to do there. So it says things to do. It doesn't say, well, it does say best things to do. I guess if golfing is one of the best things to do, that is what it is. Steaks and seafood, again with the food. We get it. Everywhere has steaks and seafood in Florida. No, we don't have to be like going specifically to Sebring. Man, I can't wait to go to Sebring, Florida to eat my steaks and seafood. A super cute downtown. Okay, this is the person writing this article's name is Melody Pittman. And this is what she writes under a super cute downtown. My name is Melody, and I have a confession to make. Oh, man. It's no one Sebring. It's probably to a murder. Okay. No. She says, I am addicted to cute, small city downtowns and find solace, glorious coffee, local shopping, and great photo-taking opportunities in them. Sebring's is one of the best. Several spokes in the circus. I bet she grew up there. I bet she's just trying to let people know that Sebring's not that bad, even though I can only find murders in Sebring. Well, I'm going to go back to see if I can find anything other than a murder in their news, and if I can't, then this will be the end of the episode, which is 30 minutes, which I'm impressed with. I'm doing pretty well today. Man, already, Texas with a running start. Rattlesnake caught in Sebring. Okay, there's actually a lot of interesting things in this town. Rattlesnake caught in Sebring. Moved to facility for anti-venom. A rattlesnake found on a street in Sebring has been captured and taken to an area facility to help make anti-venom. So, I'm going to start looking up anti-venom because if I remember correctly, the way they make anti-venom is by using venom and they blend it with reverse Uno cards or something, and then the venom makes anti-venom. So, anti-venom is made of... Well, let me go to the Wikipedia page. So, it's used to treat venomous bites and stings. Obviously, that's what anti-venom does. The side effects can be severe, which I didn't know that. There's serum sickness, shortness of breath, and anaphylactic shock. Yeesh. Okay. I don't know how they make it. It says the medical stuff and there's a shortage of antivenom for snake bites. The history. Should I just read it? That's a lot to read. I'm trying to do this, read all this, and take in the information while I'm talking. It's not working too well. So let me just pause, I'll research it, and then I'll tell you guys all about it in like a second, because time doesn't pass for you when I pause the... Okay, it's a little bit complicated. I don't totally get it. But basically what it is they take the venom from a snake, put it into a horse. The horse develops an immunity. They draw the horse's blood. They'd use some complicated process, I'd assume, to pull out the piece of the blood that makes it destroy the venom if they get venom again. And then they just put that into a human being. That's basically the idea. I think that's really interesting, and there's a venom shortage, according to Wikipedia. So I think this article on a guy picking up a rattlesnake and then, or whatever it was, rattlesnake, and then donating it so there can be venom, I think that's very noble. Also necessary. So sometimes necessary and noble go together, I guess. Sometimes not. Missing person, another death. I'm looking through them again. There's not really much. Well, there's a lot more. It's just not much entertaining left. There's a guy that lost survivor. That's from Sebring. I guess he is worshipped there or something. Oh gosh, another crime. Battery on a student. Oh my gosh. Sebring teacher going to prison. Another death. Oh my, I can't. Sebring, Florida is the worst place on planet Earth. Places to not visit ever. Sebring, Florida. Somebody's gonna go back and listen to these one day if I ever make it big, and they're gonna start compiling everything I've said about every town, and then every town in America is gonna hate me, and that's gonna be very sad. Well, okay. Well, let's end with some good news. This is from about 6 months ago, but that's as close as I could get to good news. Deputies find missing 7-year-old boy in Sebring. Now let's go back in history. Deputies say this boy had not been seen since he got off the school bus at the wrong stop at 2:15 p.m. on Monday. Okay? That's a reasonable mistake to make, getting off at the wrong stop. He got off, I don't know where that is. He was wearing a black shirt with neon colors, gray pants, and black shoes. What? I thought they said he was found. It says if you have information on his whereabouts or have seen him, please call a number. Oh, that's the original. Oh, okay, it just says he's found. Well, okay. Okay, well, he got off at the wrong bus stop. It could have been worse. He could have, gotten off while the bus was moving. He could have been in a different news article. Okay, well, that's it for this episode of Dave's Saturday Podcast. On Monday, July 5th, 2021. I hope I start work this week. We'll see how much is going to be planned for the upcoming week. I will start doing stand-up this week, which is amazing. So thanks everybody for listening, and good night.